The elders did not tell us everything about this world.
Nor bend for your king.
Never.
Welcome to the Fandom Outpost, your podcast for all things pop culture.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Outpost. As usual, I am 1/3 your host. My name is Mark.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Bob. Hi everybody. Welcome to the show.
I've been apart from the fellows for a little while, so we're all back together to, Bob, what did we do last weekend?
We got together to see the new installment of Planet of the Apes called Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And we saw it together at the Imagine Theater. And we wanted to do a quick review of that, kind of work it into the reboot trilogy, and then maybe touch on some original Ape series films from the 70s when we were growing up. We'll kind of start with our review and feelings on the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which just came out recently.
I had to hurry up and catch up and watch I know Jim and I did our research and went through the trilogy again, so that was interesting.
Some refreshing.
Yeah, and I gotta admit, that third one, the War for the Planet of the Apes, I've only seen it either once or in part, because that thing was super emotional and stuff, but this one takes place, it doesn't really say, but
many generations
later. Yeah. So, and it looks fantastic. It just looks great. I hated one part about it.
I have a name. May.
Now I could talk about that later, but it came around and hit me in the gut, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm in. So, but the whole time I was like, something smells like fish. Something's not right. So, something wasn't right. So,
Jim, how'd you feel?
I was trying to temper my expectations, knowing that we were coming off of a super strong trilogy that had great characters like Caesar, and who had an amazing arc from his...
Yeah, I want to compare that.
Yeah, from his inception till his fate. And so I knew we weren't going to have that level of commitment. They spent a lot of time setting up those characters, though, which I appreciated.
They did.
Kind of fleshing them out.
You're right.
I mean, that adds to the runtime of the film. It's like, 2.5 hours long? So
let's just do a quick synopsis.
Yeah.
It's basically some new characters and a new tribe, I guess it would be called.
Clans. They said clans.
Our main hero, Noah. Clan. And Noah is with Suna and Anaya. They're kind of the main three young friends in this tribe. And they're getting these eagle eggs because they're an eagle clan, right?
Right.
Which they train these eagles to help them get food and protection and what have you.
Yes.
And it kind of takes off from there. We meet a rival clan. Bad stuff happens to Noah's clan. And then we do a journey for Noah to find the clan that's been imprisoned by the bad clan, which are the coastal ape colony, led by Proximus. He's the new king who wants to be Caesar. So, and then we get into the third act with the coastal apes and Noah entering that and meeting another character along the way and trying to figure out how to save his clan.
Caesar comes up quite a bit, and between the two clans, they both have very different ways of honoring Caesar, I guess.
Right. Proximus, he kind of perverts Caesar's teachings, right?
Yeah,
right.
He does.
The Eagle Clan doesn't know anything about Caesar.
You're right. Yeah, they know the history, but not the history. Like they've heard of it, but like the elders don't talk about it.
Right. Noah meets as he's going to help his clan that had been imprisoned by the coastal ape colony in Proximus. Noah meets Raka.
Raka.
Is an orangutan.
Yeah.
And that orangutan is a great character. We can all talk about that briefly too. He gives them the knowledge of Caesar, and they embark on the mission together. And then they meet another character, a human character.
Right. So yeah, and the Raka character, you're getting obviously shades of Maurice from the other trilogy, but he's like the best character in the film. The movie really picks up as soon as you meet him. I mean, it's like he kicks into a nice groove.
He's got the humor too. He's got some humor.
He's the guy who gives us our humor, right? They find a human that is following them, who was somewhat accidentally instrumental in the fate of Noah's tribe. Raka teaches like compassion
from Caesar's teachings from the reboot trilogy, right?
Noah don't want none of that. He's just angry all the time.
Yeah,
he wants revenge. They broke my egg, so like he
right. She broke his egg.
Yeah, like he doesn't want to go down the peaceful path. You know what? He's a lot like Koba, is what he is. Koba from the other trilogy, right. Who is just humans are bad. Right. I want to kill everybody. That's what Noah is. So you gotta. I don't know where they're gonna go from here, but you gotta have your arcs. You know what I mean?
Well, it's all very hero's journey,
yeah.
And he's like Luke, and then he meets an Obi-Wan, and then they go to rescue.
Right. Bob even said that dude had some Yoda vibes.
Yeah, I really felt Yoda vibes with Raka. I first thing because he kind of plays kind of a little bit goofy, but then all of a sudden the knowledge comes out and you're like, oh, okay, now I know this guy knows what's going down.
He was dishing out the wisdom.
I gotta admit, there is one of the laugh out loud moments is that Raka doesn't believe that humans can talk. They're so far removed from it. And the right. other chimpanzee is like, I heard her, she can talk. And they're just having this stupid debate. Yeah, he's holding a bunch of clothes. He's got clothes.
Rocks or something.
And she does speak, and she speaks very clearly. And for an ape, it's weird to say it, but it's very this physically comedic timing where his mouth is hanging open and he drops what he's holding. And it's the biggest laugh out of the film. Yeah, I admit it's a very relaxing moment that you had this humor with these people who had been traveling together because it was so funny. Like I know the three of us were laughing out loud. It was just a catch you off guard comedic moment that was great. And there aren't a lot of those in the film. I mean, it stays pretty straight to the dramatic purposes and stuff.
Right.
I did enjoy when he decided that they were going to call her Nova because we call them all Nova.
Yeah.
Because that's what Caesar
back in the day.
Back in the day.
And we don't know why.
We don't know why.
Right. He's like, we don't know why. So, yeah.
Hopefully our viewers have seen this.
Yeah, we don't want to give away
too much, but toward the end, we'll spoil some of the ending later, but we could warn people.
Well, it's like, this is what I say. Like I said this about Barbie. It's worth it just to go see Ryan Gosling sing his song. Like, it's worth the price of admission for that. Just to see this movie, to see the relationship with this Raka dude. It's worth the price of admission. You don't have to like what's going on in the background or some of the plot points, but that dude really steals the show. And because it has such comedic timing and stuff, you're like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, and it's an orangutan that you're watching on screen with this brilliant comedic timing.
The three of them take this, like Jim says, the hero's journey to help out the tribe that had been captured. And they come across some wild humans, I guess you'd say, and there's a difference between them and Nova, whose real name she says is May. She can talk and wears better clothing, but you see these other humans that are more in the wild, and they don't talk, and they're almost like the animals they're with. And so you're starting to see like what's going on with this May character.
She has a bit of a strange reaction.
Something's
to them.
not the same.
She doesn't run right. She doesn't run right.
And
towards
Raka tries to push her to go over there. Those are your people. Go over there. And she's like, I don't know about that. And it's too bad because it looked like I'm not going to spoil it, but it does feel like the wardrobe design, all these guys were like, they dressed her wrong. They got all this wrong. because it didn't sit right with me.
Like, yeah.
It
Couldn't
didn't
quite
sit
figure it
right
out
with
at
me
the
at
time.
all. I was like,
Right.
she's wearing pants.
Yeah, like current.
Yeah, she's
Contemporary
completely
clothes,
covered
yeah.
up, and it's not the loincloth things and stuff like that. But that really didn't sit right with me. I kept telling these guys that it's wrong. Like somebody did wrong. Somebody didn't read the ape lore.
I was really into the first two acts. Really got me excited because it kind of gave me some vibes of the old original series from the 70s. Some music cues, some
Yeah, certainly.
some little Easter eggs here and there. Yeah, so I had a good vibe going with the first couple acts, and then we get to that third act, and it was, I think they had to explain the main contention in this colony on the coastal colonies ran by the King Proximus Caesar, and that's where it kind of bogged down a little bit for me. It gets into the bigger plot, and some of the criticism I've heard of this film is that it's a long movie, like Jim had said. It's 2.5, I think, whatever. And is that too much for a setup movie? Because everyone that I've heard says basically this is a setup movie for another trilogy.
Yeah.
So how do we feel about? Did we get enough?
Well, the third act bothered me because I liked the road movie aspect of it. The first two acts would have been better with that, and if we could have. I'm not saying not have a third act, but not introduce a whole big ass plot that you have to resolve in 30 minutes. Yeah, that's.
I didn't know you felt that way.
Yeah, it's really tough. Like
it did feel a little crammed in
at the end. Right? Like you're like, oh, okay, found his people. Oh, Jesus, we got all this plot to deal with. You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, we got to know all about Proximus and why he wants to be king and what he's trying to achieve.
And
if you come out of this with better understanding than me, then that's awesome because he wants something and it's never made clear. He just wants it. He wants it to maintain his rulership.
He wants,
man's
knowledge. Man has things in that place. I want.
Also, plot hole because how does he know that? Somebody tell him that?
Well, he's got. Macy's sitting there probably feeding him.
Maybe.
Something.
Right. There's a human character played by William H. Macy. That's kind of what kind of character would you say he is? He's kind of like his
worm tongue,
his bib fortuna or something.
He's a scoundrel that's trying to play which side's going to win. That's what he's really trying to do.
Yeah. His contention, is the apes have got it. So it's an apes world.
He can read, and he reads all these books to Proximus about Roman history to kind of enlighten him about leadership, I guess.
Right.
And that's kind of where Proximus is heading, is more of a dictator role than Caesar. But he uses Caesar's name and iconography to kind of be
twists it,
hey, everyone, Caesar did this and we should do that, but I'm going to do it this way. He's very manipulative, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
As a character.
Yeah. Throughout this, we see the Caesar, the symbol of Caesar, which is the star, which is all the way back to
his home in the first movie
film of this. It's the window in his home, right?
That he used to
look
through.
Throughout. So Rocco wears a necklace.
Again,
inscribed on the
Rise,
doors.
Right? But again, you got to keep your eye on this Nova girl because it's just
you're trying. Well, something always doesn't add up with her all throughout.
We're not gonna. I really, the first time forever, I'm not gonna spoil something because I think that watching to the end to have that payoff, you're like, okay, because it's got to go somewhere. Like this movie's got to make the money, we hope, because if I don't get a payoff for another trilogy, I might be pissed. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, I love stuff like that where it kind of leaves you like wanting more.
Right. As soon as it was over, you wanted more. Right.
Like, ooh, what's happening there? What's going to happen next time? I enjoy that. Yeah, I guess it's just the third act kind of slowed down some of the momentum for me, I guess. I enjoyed it as a whole. I really did. But yeah, it got a little bit clunky toward the end, I thought.
No, it takes place on the West Coast, so California. I
kept trying to figure out where they're at.
We specifically see LAX, and I think that's Dodger Stadium that they pass by.
Is that right?
Bridge,
and I believe that to be Griffith Observatory, probably.
Oh, okay.
Which
with the big telescope thing,
which I think is a foreshadow to Noah's character. because
They would never show you what they were
they
seeing.
never
and
show
that
you
was
what they
interesting.
saw. But if you paid attention to his character, he was always fixing things. He fixed the fish holder,
Oh yeah.
and he
Oh
figured
yeah.
out
Good
how to
one, Jim.
fix. They made mention that he figured out how to fix the prodding staff. So he was a little smarter, and he was inquisitive about that telescope and what he saw. But we don't know. They don't tell you what he saw, and it was important enough for him to share it with someone
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. That's what I couldn't figure. I'm like, I wanted to see what he's seeing.
And we got to assume that it's stars, you know.
I would assume that
Yeah.
it's
Maybe it's another planet. I mean, I don't know.
I read a
like,
little bit going into it about what the directors and stuff want and pulling from the other one. And Jim, I think you said something about a 9 movie.
So I heard 9 movie at some point. Everybody plans out 9 movies, needs to slow their roll. Give me 3 good ones.
Yeah, stuff that he said they could pull from the original trilogy, not the reboot trilogy, but the
Sure.
original stuff, you know. And he said, I mean, I like the fact he said time travel is not off the board.
I would love that because that's what
I'd
love.
like to see where they could go with that, and would that come back to the rebooted trilogy? Because that's the arc. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. I thought it was well done. It really subverted my expectations of a character that I was getting fidgety in my seat because I hated what they were going to do. But the payoff at the end, I was like, okay, I'm all on board. I'm in, because I didn't know where that was going. I just felt like somebody wrote that character extremely bad and didn't know how to treat it. But I believe they absolutely knew how to treat the character,
Right.
and where it was going for
Right.
them, they did a great job with it. So some of the other tropes, though, the I don't know, dude, the fight against the bad guys is not, you know, the bird stuff was cool. To me, that was a good arc about his dad.
Yes. Yeah. And how he had not bonded with a bird. And
I like the fact that it explored the legacy of Caesar, of the original, the Caesar from the reboot series. I enjoyed that connection. I thought that was really well done. Beginning, you see a funeral for Caesar from basically the picking up after war
Right.
of the Planet of the Apes, and that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I was
and
not
then we
expecting
get into
that.
the
Me
new
neither.
story. Yeah, I thought that was really cool, and the references with Rocca and Proximus and everyone talking about Caesar, I thought was a really cool tie-in. It kind of lifts you into the new. If this is going to be a trilogy, we kind of get into that. Like I said, it's just basically that ending. Just kind of had to get a little bit. We had to get a little too in depth a little bit at the end there.
There's no Andy Serkis. This is not his. It's directed by a guy named Wes Ball, which he did not, according to what I read, he wasn't on board with this. He didn't want to do it. He felt, I'm going to ruin that stuff. But when somebody said it generations later, that's when he really came on board to see, what they could do. So it's not 6 weeks after Caesar's death. You know what I mean? So,
right.
yeah. I would love one day if we found out somebody was a direct descendant of that clan. Like somebody's a direct descendant of
Sure.
that bloodline. To me, that would be the best thing that you could do with that stuff. So ultimately, I think it's still, I still think it's going to come down to war with the humans. It seems like that first rebooted trilogy was like that. You know what I mean? It was inevitable. They both want to survive in the same
Right.
world. Well, the rebooted trilogy, they hated him because they felt they destroyed the world with the simian flu. That I can understand.
Right.
That's not part of this new one. So there's even a question, isn't it even posed at the end? One of them asked the other one, can we even coexist in this new world? So, and they
Right.
don't know. Yeah,
And
they
don't know.
actually don't know, which is a cool line. I was like, oh, wow. You don't get all the butterflies in your stomach and happy ending that I think you would want wrapped up in something like this, you know, but it seriously lays the groundwork for a lot to come. That's all I can say about it.
Just a couple like film from the past references I had with the third act with Proximus taking the slaves from other clans, and it kind of gave me a little bit of an Apocalypse Now with Kurtz taking the natives to kind of co-opt them into his little group. It gave me that little feel, and it gave me Apocalyptos also.
Yeah, I can see
Gave me a
that.
little bit of that feel where they kind of take in all these other clans to do their bidding and
I can
build
see that.
their temples and
I
what
can
have
see
you.
that. I do admit, I got that cheer moment when, spoilers coming, folks. The female character, the Nova character, she stands up and shouts the chimpanzee's name for the first time because she's about to get fucked up by a big ass ape. And she stands up out of the wheat, screams his name, and he's not sure what to do. But when she runs at him, he races on his horse, and she jumps on this wood piece. It really got my blood going. Like I was really like, to me, I had a super grin. I was like, that was a cool moment for the movement. And this movie doesn't have a lot of cool moments, you know?
That's what I mean. They were building and building and building these new characters.
If you like the Apes movies, you gotta stick it out. You gotta keep telling yourself, I enjoy these things, and there's a method to the madness. You gotta put your faith in the guys who are making it. You know what I mean? Put your trust in that.
You want to take 5 minutes or so and just kind of go briefly over that reboot trilogy, just how it fits in with this? I mean, I know a few of those ones were directed by Matt Reeves, who did the Batman. I think we can appreciate him a little bit with those last two. I think we talked about it off air here that we both, all three of us, really liked at least
Well,
a couple of those.
I was not expecting
especially
the emotional gut punch that the last one was. This one stars Woody Harrelson as
war.
A colonel that just is batshit crazy. That's Colonel Kurtz.
Colonel
He
Kurtz.
gives you
Right.
that vibe, but that movie wasn't afraid to, I mean, it's out there, folks. I mean, dare I say, kill off characters where you're like, oh my God, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
So,
it was.
yeah,
that
which
was
is
a
weird
dark
because
one.
usually they're not the final ones that are the dark ones. You know what I mean? And that's the one that,
Yeah, right.
spoiler alert, that ends with Caesar's death. But they got to the promised land. You know what I mean? That thing was,
Right.
I got done watching. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. I felt like I needed to shower just because every emotion was coming out of my body. I was like, oh my God, I got to get all this off me and stuff. I still like the second one a lot. Like I prefer that one.
Yeah, it's the empire of the,
Yeah, I like that one. That one is, what is that? Is that Dawn?
but it's wholly because our hero has a good villain in Koba. So
Well, not only that, then he's got the human Gary Oldman, of course, who never disappoints ever,
right.
and he
Right,
blows that
right.
tower while they're on there fighting. I was like, oh my God, like that. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, I was really into that, so, but again, the humans,
That Koba scene. The Koba scene with the machine guns and the guys, and he's kind of playing dumb.
yeah,
and
He's
it's-
like
that's
trying to
right.
take the. Yeah, that's a really like dread. You're just
Right.
dreading. You know
Oh,
what's
like,
going to happen, and
yeah.
you're just waiting for him to.
Yes.
That scene was pretty rough.
Yeah.
And that was a good scene though. It was well done.
Yeah, he blows those dudes away.
I love it.
Yes. I was like, oh my God. It is. It was a little bit interesting to see them all riding the horses and shooting the guns. And I'm like, I didn't know, like, I mean, I know these guys my whole life, but like, I didn't know, I knew Jim was a huge Apes fan because Jim's a freak and he's got all his masks and stuff everywhere and everything. So
Planet of the Apes was basically your first kind of film franchise before
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
I would say. So, all of us had the toys and things, and that's probably what stuck the most with me. And over the years, every time something would come out, I'd just pick it up. And I never really, it wasn't like I was actively trying to collect stuff, but it just, I got the movies or whatever, and I'd pick up a book here and there. This book is really good, actually, if you ever get a chance. The Complete History, that tells you everything you need to know
Nice.
about Planet of the
Nice.
Apes series. I recommend that one highly. And then, as a kid, I had these little guys.
Oh yeah,
Little trading cards. I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember those guys. The little puzzles on the back.
Yeah, those are based off the TV show, right?
Yeah.
I like, you know what? That second one, it gets such hate. I love it. I love the second one. What is that called? Beneath the Planet of the Apes. I love it.
Yeah.
Of the original ones,
the-
yeah.
of
Sorry,
the originals.
I love that one,
It dared to be grim at the end.
and
of that.
I like the, oh my God, the Thursday one. That's
Escape?
how I used to do it.
Oh.
No, the
the Thursday one.
yeah,
Oh, that'd be Conquest.
Yeah, that's how I used to do it because you'd have Ape Week on ABC when we were kids.
And everything stopped for April.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, it's Thursday. It must be Conquest. So I loved Conquest. So they had Roddy McDowell in it. No,
Yes.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
yeah.
but I
Roddy
meant to
McDowell.
say somebody else. Ricardo Montalban as the
Montalban,
circus guy.
yes.
He came in. He came in at the third
right.
one
Armando.
and stayed. Yeah, and stayed for the
Yes.
stayed briefly for
half of
for
the
the fourth
last
one.
one, fourth one.
Oh,
Yeah.
He sets up the Caesar,
Yeah.
the Roddy McDowell Caesar,
Yeah, Milo to Caesar transition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Milo. Oh my god.
by sacrificing himself. Yeah.
And dude, let me tell you, folks, go YouTube. I don't know who the actor is in the third one, Escape from Planet of the Apes. Go YouTube him shooting that damn baby ape. Oh my god. Yeah, dude, that is brutal, man. That thing, they throw it on the ground, and he's just a pap, 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 pap. Kills that thing, and then
Dr. Hessline.
yeah, and then somebody just shoots the hell out of him. But oh my god,
Cornelius shoots him. Great kids movie.
yeah. Is it Cornelius or is it Caesar in this one? It's Cornelius, right?
Cornelius.
And he shoots Hessline, and then some idiot.
Hessline's he's a good character.
Well, we'll get into those more.
Oh, yeah.
More in another episode. But yeah, we can.
We're fans of Planet of the Apes, folks. So whether we're doing mocap,
it's fandom.
or the other stuff.
It may be my first fandom, right?
Yeah, that's.
I think you're
yeah,
right. For me too.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, that Ape Week on ABC, man, the world stopped.
Yeah, people, if you're under a certain age, you just don't understand because everything stopped when Planet of the Apes came. It was such a worldwide phenomenon. And it's a worldwide phenomenon because it touches, like science fiction can easily do, it touches on things that are cultural, that you can speak about cultural, social issues, and you can wrap it in an allegory of science fiction.
Well, that third one has such a vibe of Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. Like that's what the vibe is because because they come to our time, so you put these apes in our time, and they're treated as celebrities, and it's that Star Trek IV was super popular because you took the Star Trek characters and brought them into the 80s with us, and everybody loved it. Everybody just loves that type of stuff. So it's the same thing with that particular one. But anyway, I won't say no more. I could keep going.
Yeah. So as far as Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, what do we give it as far as a crate rating for the Phantom Outpost crates? We haven't done crates in a while. I'll go ahead first. I'll say I'll give that at least a 3, maybe 3.5, maybe something like that. Probably 3.5 out of 5.
I would go 3.
I enjoyed it. Maybe 3. I'll go back to 3. I'm gonna say 3.
I would go 3.
Wow,
for me.
I'm shocked. Yeah, I'm gonna go 4.
Well, it's a setup.
So I understand, but I'm going 4 just because I again what I hated about it, I ended up loving about it. So it really. I checked out. I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom and get some extra popcorn or something. I thought I was done. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it really cemented it for me. I was like, the fact that a writer was like, I don't care if I got to subvert your expectations. This is what we're doing, So that's why I got to go 4 with that. I go 4 with that because of that, the arc with the eagles and the eggs, and the Rocket character. Like that's why it all gets 4 from me. Those 4 things or those 3 things right there are worth the price of admission. So, and if you're a fan, you got to go see it.
I think it's enough that I think all 3 of us are recommending that you should see it in the theater at least before it ends and comes on streaming or whatever. I think you might enjoy that. It's even showing in like a super high def thing. I forget the name of it, but you could see it even bigger than we saw. We saw it in a small theater.
Yep. Dude, man, some of those, though, I guess they're gorillas. Man, them hollering and screaming and stuff. I found myself for the brief second their mouth is open. Like I'm checking out teeth and gums and like I'm really looking at that going like, holy cow, we have come so damn far.
There's like spit coming out when they yell. I mean,
gorillas were something to watch on big screen.
Well, let's wrap it up, fellas.
All right.
Sound good? Anything final words?
No,
I guess
that was good. As always, Bob, take us out.
Join us on social media and anywhere you get your podcast, Fandom Outpost. We'd love to hear from you and interact on our Facebook or Instagram page. Check us out. We really appreciate your support. We appreciate you subscribing and watching all our content. Even if it has a monkey mask in the middle of it. All right. Well, I hope our viewers enjoyed the episode. We really love sharing our love for movies and our friendship that we've carried over all these years. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Hopefully we'll get one out soon for the summer blockbuster season.
Absolutely.
With that, we'll say goodbye from everyone here at the Fandom Outpost. I'm Bob.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Mark. Oh, this was good to get back to doing this again.
See everyone next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.